Good evening and thank you for joining me on Black News Tonight. I'm Mark Lamont Hill. I start the show off with some very sad news. Malikah Shabazz, the youngest daughter of Malcolm X, has passed away. The 56-year-old was found unconscious Monday inside her Brooklyn home. NYPD says her daughter is the one who found her. An official cause of death is pending, but police appear to believe that it was of natural causes. Malikah is one of 6 of the civil rights icon's daughters. Her death coming after 2 men were exonerated last week for the death of her father. Condolences poured in on social media from people like New York Mayor Bill de Blasio and Martin Luther King's daughter, Bernice King. Turning now to the trial of 3 white men charged in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. After weeks of testimony and 2 days of closing arguments, the jury now has the case. Prosecutor Linda Dunikoski delivered her rebuttal today, pointing out that Arbery was accused of no crime and that the defendants took police to believe that they knew he didn't commit a crime. She also shut down the notion that the 3 defendants were scared, noting that they chased Arbery for 5 minutes. People across the country are anxious and nervously awaiting the jury's decision. BNC's Dre Clark sat down with one woman who's been at the courthouse every day since the trial started.
No, I'm good.
If you've ever wondered what commitment looks like,
I have to go take my sign up.
meet 87-year-old Annie Polite. Every day, rain or shine, she shows up at the Glenn County Courthouse.
Good morning, good morning.
She uses the support of her walker, but she has the willpower of a young soldier. Nothing can keep her from coming here.
Shut it down!
Every turn of her wheels, every step of the way, is a move closer to getting justice for Ahmaud.
I feel it's a responsibility, and we all should be out here supporting the Arbery family because they have been through so much.
She's a genteel Southerner, soft-spoken, and as her last name suggests, she's always polite.
I just try to do whatever, whenever I can, and be helpful wherever I can. Because if God bless you, you need to pass that blessing on and share it with others.
Miss Annie has seen and done a lot in her nearly 90 years.
I picked many rows of cotton, picked some peaches.
And she's been called the N-word more times than she can recall. The memories of segregation, Jim Crow, and the murderous Klan never go away.
You had to be on your P's and Q's when you heard of the Klan or the CC Rider boys or any persons like that. You would make yourself scarce.
Some have said the killing of Ahmaud Arbery was a modern-day lynching, or it's this generation's Emmett Till. White men accused of killing a young black man in a small town in the Deep South.
And you know it's been going on for years and years and years. And here I am, 87, and still in the fight.
She marches with the people, sometimes outpacing people who are much younger. And she stands with the Arbery family.
I've said all along that this is God's plan. I believe that he picked the Arbery family because that's a strong family. They stick together.
And as for the 3 men accused of murdering Ahmaud, she hopes the jury will find them guilty. But ultimately, she says, true justice rests with the higher power.
The good book says we are not to judge. But I still say God will justify what they've done, and he will make it right for not only the Arbery family, but for the state of Georgia and the USA and the world.
Miss Annie Polite, small in stature, but a giant in the fight to get justice for Ahmaud.
Justice for Ahmaud. Justice for Ahmaud. Justice for Ahmaud. Justice for Ahmaud. Justice for Ahmaud.
I'm Dre Clark for Black News Tonight.
A former St. Louis County police officer who shot a black woman has charges dropped after the victim requested restorative justice mediation. During a dispute in 2019, ex-officer Julia Cruz shot Ashley Fountain Hall after Cruz mistakenly drew her gun instead of her taser. The shooting left Hall with serious injuries as she lost part of her spleen and now suffers from PTSD. Hall received a $2 million settlement but requested a restorative justice program. After the two participated in a meeting accompanied by a mediator, Hall asked that the charges against Cruz be dropped. I'm always fascinated by white people, and I'm always fascinated by police officers. They don't even pretend to play by the rules. Now, let me be very clear. I support restorative justice. I believe in a world without prisons. I believe in a world without police. I am an abolitionist, and I make no bones about that. And so if we can move toward restorative justice projects, I'm with that. If the people who are harmed are able to get relief, if the people who are harmed are able to get support, if we can come to a way to repair the damage done rather than simply throw people in cages, if we can understand that the question of who did it and how do we punish them has to be replaced by who was harmed and how do we make them whole again, if we can do that, then I'm good with restorative justice. We have to do that. We shouldn't be locking people up for drug addictions. We shouldn't be locking people up for petty crimes. We should be finding a way to deal with the fundamental issues that cause and produce crime. Our restraint of individuals should only be of the most extreme and violent few. But police ain't never been about that life. It's not like they walk around saying, let's restore, let's rehabilitate, let's fix on the ground. No, it's only when one of them gets in trouble that they do this. So I'm saying, if this is going to be the model for restorative justice, then we got to carry it out, not just for Officer Friendly, but for Pookie and Lakeisha and Taniqua. It got to be for everybody, not just white folk and certainly not just for police. All right, let's now head over to East Africa, where the United States Embassy in Ethiopia is warning Americans of a possible terror attack in the capital, Addis Ababa. The U.S. Embassy issued a statement saying that terrorists could target diplomatic facilities, tourist locations, transportation hubs, local government facilities, and other public facilities in the country. The embassy is urging U.S. citizens to avoid crowds and areas where foreigners frequent, while maintaining a high level of vigilance. The U.S. is also advising Americans to carry a valid form of identification with them as they travel out and about in Ethiopia. This as tensions escalate within the nation. The U.S. Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa, Jeffrey Feltman, continues to call for a ceasefire and a peaceful end to the year-long civil war after returning yesterday from his recent visit to Ethiopia, where he met with officials from the government as well as African Union representatives. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced that he will be on the front lines to lead government troops engaged in the brutal conflict as opposition forces threaten to march on Addis Ababa, again, the nation's capital. Africa's largest photography library is in the works, all due to a pandemic hobby. Ghanaian New Yorker Paul Ninson spent the pandemic being occupied with his new hobby, which is book collecting. Ninson was able to collect 30,000 photo books with images taken in Africa or by photographers of African descent. Thanks to a crowdfunding campaign that raised $1 million, Ninson is shipping the books to Ghana to create Africa's largest photo library. Ninson hopes that the library will inspire more African photographers to tell their own stories. Be sure to join the conversation because we want to hear from you. Head over to our BNC Instagram and Twitter pages. Let us know how you feel. Also, visit our website, bnc.tv, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out clips from the show.